Greetings, Dr. Slaughter. My name is Michael Chapdelaine, and this is my group leading report for HSCO 511 through Liberty University Online. The group that I recently led is a church home group that I've been attending for about a year. The meeting occurred on Thursday, June 28th at our church administrator's apartment. There were 8 couples and 1 spouse in attendance. The meeting started at 7 p.m. and ended at approximately 8:30 p.m., which included 30 minutes of fellowship time and approximately 1 hour of group time. The leader that normally leads this group was in attendance and graciously allowed me to lead the group for this week. I've known the majority of members anywhere from 8 years to 3 years to just 9 months for the newest members. As a discussion group, the nature and purpose of this group is to build relationship among church members, building each other up in our faith. On Sundays, there's not enough time between worship services to really build good relationships. The Bible states in Hebrews 10:25 to not neglect meeting together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, all the more as you see the day drawing near. Being a discussion group, my role as a leader was minimal, and while according to the group counseling strategy and skill text, typically the focus in discussion groups are on topics or issues rather than personal concerns. Yet in this particular meeting, we did go a bit deeper than sharing ideas and exchanging information. We started the meeting with a light snack and informal discussion about how our week went, and while this group is typically at ease with each other already, it still establishes where members can socialize and put the newest members at ease. If this wasn't such an established group, I would have spent more time with introductions, getting members to feel more comfortable. Once we sat down for the discussion, I opened it up with an icebreaker, asking the question, if you knew that you only had 1 to 2 years to live, what would you do differently? While an icebreaker isn't necessarily needed for this group, this question directly related to the topic at hand, which was death. The question prompted a variety of responses including from one spouse who related a personal account from a near-death experience that happened to her about 9 years ago. I allowed her to speak freely for approximately 8 to 9 minutes, as she is not normally talkative, and it was obvious that she was going somewhere with this in order to make an important point. And the point she made was that she lives each day as if it was her last day, and that she knows each day is a blessing from God. As the leader, I thanked her for sharing and encouraged her to continue to share this testimony that God had given her. This certainly set the tone for the rest of the meeting, which was both serious and light at times, for the remainder of those who shared how they would spend their time in light of the question posed. Most shared that they would spend more time with family and mending broken relationships with friends and family members, sharing that it's something that they desire to do, but just haven't been able to do that for one reason or another. One member spoke about a sister who she has not spoken with over 5 years because of a disagreement. I personally shared that I would like to do a better job of witnessing and sharing my faith with unbelievers, because that is what we've been commanded to do, as outlined in Matthew 28. Another member talked about his desire to reach his neighbors for Christ, and he went on to explain that while he has discussions with his neighbors, it's on a superficial level, and he would like to go deeper with that. After everyone answered the icebreaker, I selected 4 members to read various scriptures on the topic of death. And although the group's level of engagement and participation were high, I still scanned the group for nonverbal cues, observing one member who is usually pretty quiet, and I was able to draw him out a couple times by asking his thoughts, which he graciously gave. Reflecting on my performance, I feel that I did well because I was relaxed and focused on the meeting. Since this was a pre-existing group already meeting in someone's home, little preparation had to go into the meeting. But having been a leader in the home group having been a leader in the past for home groups, I understand the importance of pre-group planning, and as spelled out in chapter 4 of the Jacob's text. For this group, I spent the time directing the flow of the discussion and called out each member to contribute their thoughts on the topic. As previously mentioned, I also assigned scripture reading as well as facilitated the group discussion as it progressed. I can honestly say that there were no particular challenges during this group meeting, and it all flowed very well. I did well at directing the flow of the topic as well as keeping everyone on topic. At the end of the meeting, we prayed for specific needs and for God to help us individually to face whatever obstacles that we may have. In conclusion, I really enjoyed leading this group and would like to continue to lead groups within our church, whether it be a home discussion group or an educational group on evangelism. The highlights of this experience was that it helped to build my confidence in speaking to a group, as well as give me an opportunity to use the recent skills that I've learned in this course. Being that it was a discussion group, I was only able to use a limited amount of the skills that I've learned throughout the past 6 weeks. Another highlight for me was how one of the couples called that evening and left me a message telling me how much they enjoyed the group and how well of a job that I did. So I was happy and encouraged by that. If I am in a position to lead groups in the future, I plan to apply more mini lecturing and information giving, encouraging and supporting, as well as various exercises like role playing and reading exercises. The areas that I feel that I can improve in order to enhance my group skills are listening more effectively and also giving relevant feedback. So this concludes my presentation. Thank you very much. Have a blessed evening.